Raj. Thank you. So I'll just to repeat one more time. So this video that I am putting up will be here in, let me just say right there. So this video that I'm putting up will be here in project 2. I'll put it right with the Photoshop rendering submissions. And then next week I'll build upon it a little bit. So it went through SketchUp, then went into advanced image search, went shopping for backgrounds, people, artwork, evaluated them all size-wise. Brought them all into my room and started adjusting and did some, and I covered a lot. So this is for my studio class. So they haven't had as much as you have. You should have had all of this. You should have been introduced to all of this so far. Maybe not stuff like hanging stuff on the wall, but I don't know that, maybe you'll do that. For some of those houses, some of those places you might, they're pretty austere. They don't really have a lot of artwork.
Yeah, there's really not much room for
yeah. So we don't want you just
cool.
Yeah, you don't want to just add stuff for the heck of it. You know, you want to keep it. So anyway, that's how far I got. So if you need a refresher on any of that stuff, it's an hour long. It will be here soon. And then hopefully next week, I'll have a little time. Maybe we'll talk about different types of people, some different styles of people. Okay. That's all I got.
Great. Okay. So we've learned a lot of you have gotten in submissions today right at 2 o'clock. So I haven't had a chance to look at all of them just yet. One thing I'm finding in common, I'm overall, what I've seen is I'm pretty pleased with the progress now that I've seen what people have turned in. We'll give you a little more time to Thursday, but that's really when we want to wrap up SketchUp. So, take advantage of this, next 2 days, and I'll make it due at 11 o'clock so I can actually see them before we meet. Now, one thing I found in common was not so much, and people are free to ask me about questions about modeling, but it looks like you actually got the models working more or less of the ones I was able to look at. The bigger problem you had, or the problem you had, was getting decent views of what you had created. And so I want to go over that, how to set up really good views in SketchUp so that really help tell the story of your design. And most of that, if you're writing this down, has to do with adjusting field of view, which is how wide an angle is included in a view, particularly an interior view. Sorry. Anyway, so let me pull this up, and I'm going to start sharing my screen, and that will take just a second. Share screen. Okay, and actually, so what I did was I worked with each of these, and I'm going to show you how you can do it in your own designs. And I'm going to start with Molina. And so So the model is really complete. There is one thing that needs to be changed in this. There's actually a couple things, but one of them is that, and it's going to be layers in your version, but on mine, it is called tags. And what I have to do is I have to make the imported AutoCAD images invisible. So I'm just going to do this. It's light medium, dark medium, dashed lines. So those all go away. And then I go into this and update. Unfortunately, I have to go through each one of these to make that adjustment. And it's a little slow. Okay. And so what I did was with this view, I want to go into camera and not the default field of view. So I go to camera, I go to field of view. The standard field of view is 35 degrees, which is a relatively narrow view. For some of you who actually played around with this, you can go up to about, for an interior, about 60 or 70 degrees for a field of view. You go much more than that, you get a lot of distortion. So I'm going to put in 60. And it's down here on the data line. And here we go. Okay, so that gives me a wider angle view. And then I need to look around a little bit more. And I need to back up a little bit because I'd like to see the peak. So I'm going to put on the walking shoes and I'm going to move back. Slowly. Whoa, fast. Actually, this is a kind of cool view. I mean, it includes a little bit of a view into the bathroom. So I'm going to add this view. Hit add. So that was, so we got from this, which was maybe a little too tight, to a much wider angle view. And maybe we want something in between. So let me get place camera, the little standing man, and put it here. And then I'm going to go and make sure my eye height is okay. So I'll go to the eye. Eye height is a little high. I can see that down here. I want to be 5'9". So I type 5'9". Come on. There we go. Okay. And I'm just going to.
Michael.
Yes.
Isn't that just because I was doing that earlier today with a 3-story building, isn't that 5'9" actually like you're standing on the ground under the deck?
No, it actually figures out that you are, it should be figuring out that there's a floor underneath you.
Oh, really? Mine didn't. When I was doing that 3-story building, it was coming up as like 18 feet and it looked fine.
Yeah, I guess it depends where you place the camera, but usually it does detect the floor.
Huh.
It could be, let's see.
Yeah, not that I feel like you should stand up taller in this space. It already kind of feels like you're going to hit your head.
Yeah, it's pretty low around here.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah, because it's like 2 foot, 7 foot off the ground. But yeah, so then this is elevated here. So anyway, we can save these views. I should name them, but and I'm going to, in each one, turn off that and update. So that's one of the things that you need to do, is to make the, rather than delete them, is just make the original AutoCAD drawings invisible by going into what's called tags here, what's called layers in your SketchUp Make 2017. Okay, I'm going to file, I'm going to save. Okay, let me just take a look in one of the others about setting up a good view. And
I have a quick question.
yes.
Sorry. I think I'm gonna attempt and draw something by hand for the
Okay.
hat.
All right.
What should I try and draw? Like, this is like, should I try and do like a detail of the roof, or like should I try and do in like an how it looks on the outside, or like?
Well, I don't
Can I
know.
share an
I
answer,
mean,
Michael?
sorry.
Go on, you go on.
Oh no. Well, I think it's up to you as to what you decide. Do you have a scanner?
I do, yes.
Okay. So I mean, I think, you know, a sketch of a detail, or if you want to include it. I mean, I don't want to discourage you. You have freedom to.
I mean, I don't know even how it's gonna come out. I haven't done it in years, but I want to try.
Yeah, absolutely try it. Let's say there's a lot of stuff here. Like we'll go over the basic requirements of the board, but you know, for the things that you may want to do, we'll, you know, allow you to add those things in.
Okay.
Okay. So let's.
When we're, if I could just add, when we're in
Yeah.
class together and we have the scanners and I require it in the past, when I have required it in the past, that people sketch, I would typically get them to go and look at the photographs, print out a photograph or two, something different than what you're actually going to model,
Okay.
and then work maybe from a photograph,
Okay.
you know?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that will make it easier too. Okay. I'll try that. Thank
And,
you.
and that's for everybody. When you start selecting your 3 views, review all your photographs, think about all the different ways to look at this house. You know, now's the time to make those decisions all together at once before while you're quickly approaching the board.
Okay. So with Leilani, so this is the view that she had, a view in the courtyard of the yard house. And what I did was I changed a couple parameters. So I came up with a view like this. And I'll just go through how I did that. So we get more of a sense of the yard, the distance away, get the full facade so it isn't clipped off. So anyway, what I did, I also changed the sun angle so that it was more complementary to the design. So I went again to camera, field of view. And it's a fairly narrow 35 degrees, and I'm going to make it 60. And I'm going to back up. And I'm also going to change the sun angle. So the sun is hitting the facade like this. And I'm going to make it a little earlier in the year. Okay. And I'm going to add that. I'll also make sure that when I go into layers that I turn off. Oops, so stuff is on layer 1. It seems to have turned off the furniture. The furniture is on layer 1. Okay, well, anyway. And then I'm going to file and save this. So likewise here, I also want to go to camera field of view when I'm on the inside and go to a wider field of view. So I'm going to go to 55. And I'm going to try to back up a little bit. Oh, too much. And my eye height got really low, so let me readjust that. Okay. So let's see. Let me also just back up slightly. I'm going to turn, having a little lag here. Okay, and I'm also going to look up. Okay, and I'm going to add the scene. And I did the same thing here, where I got a little more context into the image. So this was the existing view. And this is the view that I switched to. Okay, so these are the critical things, and I could go over one with the one in Mexico as well. But you get the idea that you want to be able to show and tell a story of the interior, and if the light is not working the way you want it to, adjust that over here. And I'm just going to try raising my eye height here. 6. Actually, I liked it better. It's seating, eye height, its seating height is about 4 foot. So we'll be sitting down. Okay. All right, I guess I could also do one with the one in Mexico. Let's just pick this up. Abdullah really went to town with this. It's very furnished, probably a little bit too much, but it's okay. And I adjusted these views, although they were very close. You don't have to add these. These are actually recessed incandescent lights. And I'm not sure about all these water features here, but I'm assuming that Abdullah had fun with this. If he didn't, I'd be very
Yes,
surprised.
I did.
Good, good. Well, we like that. It's a good thing.
Michael, could I just ask a question? Looking at this, it looks really good. Heavy on the furniture and the features, but
Yes.
the model looks really cool. What do you think in a case like this? Like if he could export something from SketchUp with everything, and then he could export something with less furniture and stuff for Photoshop, like to get a couple different exports to leave options as you move towards the
Mhm.
final board, or don't bother, or just pick, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I love this. There's a lot of fun going on here. It's a little much. I think the furniture is kind of overwhelming the elegant modernism of the existing structure. And maybe what we would do, unfortunately, he has one. Let's see. So where he has taken off the roof. And what we can do is create a new layer if this hasn't already been done. Sorry, tags. And so add. Oh, the furniture's all been made into a component. So that's another way of making it easier. We could just hide that. But let me put that on a layer. Entity, yep, furniture. And then if Abdullah has been consistent, I can, oops, except for the coffee table, a couple things. So we've unfurnished it, and I'm going to go to view. Okay, so I can go to the other views. Slowly. All right, and this is fine, but there's a lot of furniture going on. But now I can do this where I can turn off furniture. And there we go. We're ready to move in now. And that might be more effective.
yeah, picking your view first and then maybe adding furniture.
Right. But this is effective. The sun is streaming in. I mean, I think it's a good view.
Yeah.
But it was a little, there was a lot of furniture going on here. And then I'm not sure, I mean, I guess I go with the paving. I'm not sure about the rivers and lakes. I would probably go into this and go to in model. And I mean, we could always do some other feature with this, but nope, that's not the one I want.
Do you think they should attempt to do the greenery in Photoshop for this one, or do you think the SketchUp is better?
Oh, I think you should do the greenery in Photoshop.
Okay, that's what I was kind of getting at with my first question. Like, is it worth keeping a version with all this, with this terrain,
Right.
or yeah, so not really.
I mean, yeah, you would want the terrain, but you know, it all colored like this is probably more than you would want.
Yeah.
So that's okay. This is a little high. I would probably move this down a little bit. So I'm just going to go to camera, oh, I. And let's move it down. We still want it high above the ground, but I'm going to make it more at about 11 feet. And again, it's whether it would look better without the furniture. I can just take a look at that. Yeah, the exterior furniture might be kind of good, like the chaise at least. But there's a lot of furniture. So I'm gonna update that. Okay. And we can, although this is pretty good, we can also change the display option to just do solid colors. I don't know if that makes things better. Let's go back to, so people have an idea now about creating effective views. And you know, maybe, and you can try them both ways. So now I want to get into using this with Lumion. And I don't know how many people have been able to download Lumion to their own computers, but I'll go over briefly how you connect to the campus computers. So let me pull that up.
It's very easy. The moment you connect your OneDrive, it's very easy after that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the OneDrive that's a little bit of a.
Yeah, that takes a minute, but after that, it's easy.
So anyway, I've mentioned it previously, but I'll go into this. So what you do is whoops, where did we put those? Here we go. Remote connection to CCP computers. So click on this. And this will take you to the computers that are available. It actually remembered me and took me to W21. That's where our computers reside, all technically under W21, but you can see that these are the labs and our classrooms. I consistently use the same computer. I'm already connected, so I won't go through that, but you pick a computer and you just note down which one you've picked and you hit connect. And I'm on a Mac, so that's a little bit different. And then you download it and then you log in. Your same CCP username and password, usually with an AD slash. But there's also instructions up here. all the way at the top. So here, connecting from Windows, connecting from a Mac, or if you don't think any of you are connecting from a Chromebook. So I download the file, I connect, and then I get where we are. I'm on the campus computer right now. So let's just take, I'm going to take, we'll see. Actually, I would like, so I'd like to bring this one in, and there's a toolbar under extensions, Lumion Live Sync, and you hit Start Live Sync, and hit yes. And in a moment, we should get a blank scene. And we'll just do a grassy field for this one. And there it is. So I want to use, because it's easier to set up views, it's really a pain to set up views in Lumion. I mean, you can do it, but better to sync the views back. So I'm going to go back to SketchUp.
Michael, I'm sorry, I might not have heard it, but did you talk about the importance of applying different materials in SketchUp?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's really critical that you apply, everything gets a different material. You can then substitute them. That's a very good point.
And
So,
the reason I noticed was I thought Romina's at the bottom of her columns, it looked like wood on wood.
it is wood. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, it's important to apply, it's actually really critical to apply different materials so that they will render as different materials and you can adjust them.
The wood that it's like on the peach needs to be different material from the walls?
It probably should be. But
Okay.
let's take a look at what it looks like when we render it just as is in Lumion.
Okay,
So,
I can change that fast. I thought it was like the same, the structure.
I was referring to the part that's touching the ground outside, actually.
Yeah. Let's just.
You wouldn't, it looks like you have wood touching grass, and it probably isn't.
No.
Oh, the little
Should
effects.
be black metal.
Okay, yeah. No, I missed that completely.
So where was I? Don't know why it's so slow today. Okay. And now what I want to do is I don't know why I have to do this, but this synchronization is really great. It's just I have to stop it and start it again. And then I can get into, when I get back to Lumion, it should give me the same view as I have in my SketchUp view. And there we go. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to render this pretty much as is. I'll apply some materials a little bit later, but I'm just going to go, so I switch into the camera. And instead of custom style, I'm going to do interior. I'll just see how that comes out. Okay, and we're going to have a little problem here because these pieces are in the same plane as the ceiling. but we'll see how it handles this. And I'm going to place that and render desktop. And this just located my renderings file. So I'm going to do cut one interior. And I'm going to do it as a PNG file and save. So the one thing that I haven't done is I really should work with the glass, but you can see even in this very first rendering, for those that can, folks that can see it, it looks pretty good. And to make life easier, there's a lot of different materials applied. So let's take a look. Oh, and actually, these don't look super objectionable. They're not actually there, but that looks pretty good. So that's not bad. So I'm going to say, okay, great. I'm going to just try another rendering style, just realistic, see if that's much different. And hit render. And hot to interior. So I haven't really done anything much. I just, and this is better, this is giving me a little more even exposure. So we'll take a look at the two. So that was the first one. The outside got a little overexposed. This one, it's a little bit more of an even exposure. I think it's a little more realistic, a bit more realistic. Will you go with, humor me with that? So you want to try the different presets. You can get into a lot of fine adjustments and settings.
That looks great.
So this is pretty good. I mean,
It looks very realistic.
it looks really good, and I would recommend that you go to a higher resolution. The one thing that I'm not pleased with is the fireplace. It's really actually a dark iron fireplace, but it's its own material, so that's great. So I should be able to adjust that. So let me show how that goes. So I'm going to go into back into Lumion.
Is this Romina's?
It is Ramina's, yes.
Yeah. Not to be overly picky, but I'm just I have to ask, and I'm not saying you should change it, but are there no glass window frames? Is that why it looks like the glass is running into the?
The glass needs to be redone, and it looks like there aren't frames here on the sides. No.
Yeah, that's the one thing that makes it look odd.
Yeah, it just looks like an opening, but
and I'm not saying that, like, if you go through Lumion and you do all this, that I don't know how, and Michael's actually grading the SketchUp and what his expectations are should you have window frames everywhere, but it sticks out such a nice rendering when it's lacking something like that. So I don't know if it affects the grade for us necessarily, but
I'll fix it. I thought I had it. Yeah, I thought I did the frames, but I'll fix it. It's fine.
Yeah. I could see the nice frames on the far side, which should probably be wood as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But when things look that nice, then the next step is
Yeah,
to
no, I
really,
just realized what you were talking about.
yeah. But
Okay, I'll fix it.
Well-
it invites greater scrutiny, I would say, when it's this good, which is, so it's a kind of a mixed blessing.
Yeah, because we're really believing it. We're looking at it and we're believing it, and then we hit the lack of the frames and go, maybe not. So let me go back. So most of this applying materials, doing other things happens in what's called the build mode of this. And so one of the things that I want to do is go to materials, translucent glass gray. And it's an okay glass. I could manipulate it a little bit more, make it a little more reflective. I'm not sure I want to actually change any of this, but let's see. And let me go to the fireplace, steel brushed stainless, and indoor glass, metal, aluminum. That may be a little too shiny. Let me see if there's a better material. Iron. Sure enough, they have iron. There, that's more like it. And if you didn't like the color of this furniture, you could totally change that. Like, oh, I don't really like that bright orange. It could be any other color you want. I'll just do it for the heck of it. And let's say that I want to make it a light blue. There. Okay. So it's important to give everything a material, and then I'm going to tell it I'm done applying materials, and I'm going to render this again. So back to the camera here. Okay, get a little preview. And I'd like to see more sun coming into this building. So I have to go back to the build mode. Yeah, just feeling a little, today it's a little pokey. I can adjust the clouds, I can adjust this, but I'm going to make the sun lower. And coming. Okay. And then I am going to go back to photo. And you can see now more light is coming into the space and hitting this. And I'm going to render this. And I could actually have this render as a batch. But I'm just going to do this and interior. So you can sort of make the judgment if you want that sun coming in, you can control it, or it can be a more diffuse light. I was just trying to think what else I wanted to show at this point with this project. This looks a lot more like iron. I increased the reflectivity a little bit on the glass, maybe too much so, but
Like it.
yeah, I think I like it too.
I like it.
So I'm just going to hit. So let's just do one more view and then we'll take a break. So I'm going to go back to SketchUp. I'm going to go to okay, and I'm going to go into this and camera, and I'm going to restart live sync. It seems to have stopped happening. And let's see if I get that same view when I go into Lumion. Still the old view. So I have to hit so I have to do this odd little thing. Whoops. Okay, and I have to stop the camera sync and then start it again. And that should, yeah, give me that same view, although we're a little far away in this. And I'm going to use my forward arrow on my keyboard to get in closer. And we can play with the topography a little bit, but I'm not going to really do that right now. It's sitting on a very gentle hilltop. Okay, and let's check this out. I'm going to render it. And camera. Okay. Again, the default is to do realistic. And this just gives you an approximate preview, not a detailed preview. And then I'm going to render it. Desktop.
And that's like the background that we want for it, right? It's like similar to whatever the
It
pictures
is.
are showing.
Actually, the irony is, I mean, we could play around with making it more of a hilltop, but that is
Yeah.
pretty much it's on a grassy lawn, and we'll make the grass look better. And then we'll take a little break. And let's open the folder and take a look at it. Okay. So these are the kind of views you can do, and you can. I'll just show you a little bit about land, and then I'm going to take. We'll take a break. So I'm going to go back to Lumion. I'm going to go And what I can do is topography, landscape, and I can do landscape grass. Although the grass that's there doesn't look too bad. And I'm going to turn it on. And I'm going to make it fairly high grass. Okay. And topography. This is a little tricky, but in the landscape, I can switch. Oh, heights. I can push the ground down. Now it's problem is my response time is really lagging today. Usually it's pretty crisp, but I don't know what's going on. So I'm trying to lower the ground here. Oh, too much. Okay, I may not be able to demonstrate this very well. That excavated a whole quarry for me, which I did not want to do. So I'm just going to, where's my undo?
That is so cool though.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, but it's like, let me undo that. Come on. Yeah, it's very slow today. I don't know. I'm not used to it being like this. It's usually very crisp. Come on. Undo, undo, undo. Oh, it's a couple. Uh-oh. Well, let's have to be God and raise the ground again. Too much. It's like, that's the problem, is it's with this response lag, it's really hard for me to gauge this. So I'm just going to go real gentle there. Come on. I'm going to be satisfied with this. It's a little weird. The abyss is in the back there. All right. Enough of that. Let's go back to photo. Yeah, it looks like we're on the edge of a quarry. I'm not quite sure. It's just like it's not working well. So let me level this. And let's, okay. And I'm going to just render this. And the thing is that this, because it's so fast, although I would urge you when you finally get to something you want to do as a big rendering, that you go instead to where you have the render is here. Print. That's the kind of resolution that we want. You could even go to poster. It doesn't take much longer. But let me do a poster. Oh, I have to do this. So this takes, I mean, the thing that's also amazing about this is to do a very detailed rendering. It takes very little time. I mean, this will be done in less than a minute, which if you've used any other rendering program is lightning fast in comparison. My cat is telling me he wants another snack. Ah,
I was wondering where was he today.
here he is. Not very happy being
Hi,
called
buddy.
up, are you? But you're being annoying. Yes, you are. Okay. All right. So I think it's Mario was saying it's time for a break, and I think he's right.
Okay.
Okay.
And so perhaps after the break, I don't know, what'd you have in mind, Michael? Was there a mention of if they have problems that need troubleshooting, or did you have more to go over?
Yeah, I'd like to troubleshoot any problems we have, because this is really our last, this is all the fun stuff that you get to do. But you know, this is your opportunity to ask questions, and whether I or a fellow student can help answer them. You know, just we're gonna open it up for that. And I may show a few more renderings just to give you a feel.
Now's the time. It's the
Yeah,
time to be
because
done. So
we got to be done. We got to be done with SketchUp by Thursday.
Yeah.
Because we got to move on to finish the board.
Are we
All
going
right.
to do another final submission for the SketchUp? Can we?
Take a look at your grade. If you
Okay.
wish, you may.
Okay.
I won't stop you. You're
Because I'm going to fix the stuff that we talked about.
Fix those things, but yeah, you're
Okay.
you're definitely welcome to do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Great. So we'll pause now.
20 after? Is that good?
Yeah. Yes, 20 after.
20 after? Okay. See you after
All right.
Wilson. So if anyone else has questions, you could get in queue and we could troubleshoot some things. I'm sure more people have similar issues.
Okay, do you see my screen?
Yeah, well, you see, you're not logged on to the college's computer. This is your home.
Yes, but how I do that? I thought I would do it by going through SketchUp to Lumion.
But you do have Lumion installed on your computer?
No.
Well, then you have to have Lumion installed on your computer or
Okay.
use your, they make it pretty available to students. I mean, they run you through, I can show you how to do it, or you connect remotely. You have to set up a shared drive, a Microsoft OneDrive, but it's not super hard to do that. And then you can put your files in there. I was going to actually demonstrate with your file about how we could do some renderings.
So
I
Michael,
have to down. Yes, sorry.
Michael's, if I could just, Michael's able to do this because SketchUp and Lumion are both on the school computer together.
Okay.
So you can't go from your SketchUp to our Lumion. That doesn't work.
I think because I did the same thing I did where he's confused is like you have to go to your modules and click in there on the link that we have on the first project. And this is how you start. You do the connection first to the computer, and then you go to your personal computer, to your OneDrive, and then you connect that as well. So you have to do both in order to work. And then you can go to your SketchUp, and it's going to give you, you don't do it from your computer, like the SketchUp on your computer, you're doing it for the school computer. When you're connected, you're going to the computer at the school, and then you pull your program through your OneDrive. You have to save your SketchUp model into your OneDrive in order to be able to see it. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
remote it to the school. You have to
Because
remove-
what I did, I thought the same thing. I went into my SketchUp and I thought it was going to give me the Lumion option when I connected to the school. But you have to go through the school computer and do that.
Yeah, it's a little, that's confusing. I found that confusing initially.
Yeah, it took me a minute too. That's why because I did the school thing and then I was like, okay, so where is it? And then you have to do the OneDrive as well.
And then open it on the SketchUp that is on the school computer.
On the school computer, yeah.
SketchUp Pro. And then if you want to be able to work on it at home, you have to remember if you've made any changes to save them as SketchUp 2017. Because it will automatically save it as the 2020 on the school computer. But I found today it's lagging. I don't know what the deal is, but I find it works really well and is very responsive. So other questions?
So the computers on campus are available all day, every day, or they have?
Yes. All day, every day.
Okay.
So yeah, you just have to go to the list that I showed earlier and I have a little problem with my mouse for some reason. I don't know what that's about.
And then it just shows like a look computer thing on the bottom of your computer. So you don't have to do the whole process every time you want to log in. You just like click on that and pick the computer you want to get connected to. And it's like.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, and I make sure I keep a little note that I always try to connect to the same computer because it remembers me. It remembers my logins and everything. So that's convenient. But you can pick, there's 80 plus computers that are sitting there on campus that you can connect to and use for this really high-end stuff. And you want to do this because those computers have tons of memory, a really powerful graphics card, fast processor. Your results, if you even can run it on your own computer, are going to be a lot slower.
And you wouldn't have to pay for Adobe if you were in there full time, right?
Right. That's what I've gotten around that. I have an old version of Adobe on my home computer, but to use the latest and greatest, I use the school's computer. So I'm not paying Adobe 20 or 30 bucks a month because that would just drive me crazy, even though it is worth it. I'm a cheapskate. I just don't believe that. I feel like it used to be you buy the software, there it was. You didn't have like that constant drain.
It's like 30, like 180 a year is too much. Half that I'd be okay with, but yeah. Anyway, other questions? Other
Yes.
people have things they want to show, put on the screen?
I have a question. Like, I'm having trouble actually connecting to the school computer. Do I do that from like the website or
Oh yeah, go to
like
the
the
link.
school camp?
You should be able to do it with the link that is on our Canvas page. I have that link. So it's I can show that again. Let's go up on what am I? Let's see. Oops. Okay, let's see. This is and so let me switch to student view. Oops. me leave student view. Sorry. Here we go. It's under our big module, module 5. And there's two under new additions, remote connection to CCP computers, and configuring and syncing OneDrive. So this gives you the information about how to connect and how to configure your OneDrive. So can you see that?
It's loading now. Okay, yeah, I see it now.
Okay.
So we just connect to any of those that's on that
No,
list?
you have to go down to W21. And under W21, we have 88 computers available. And just pick one computer, make sure, we don't know if it'll hopefully it will work. And then you follow the directions, and there are directions at the top. For most of you, like if you're connecting, like I'm connecting from a Mac, and I think you are too, Hector?
Yes.
Yeah, so you follow the directions, all that are all the way back at the top again.
Okay.
So here, connecting from a Mac.
Okay, I see it. Right,
Mac
I see it.
Windows. And this gives you all the blow by blows.
Got it. Okay, perfect.
Great. So yeah, these are the two things that you have to refer to: synchronizing the files with OneDrive and remote computer access. And it's under module 5. Okay. Any SketchUp questions out there?
Yes, I wanted to ask Abdullah how he got the siding on lounge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes, actually, I saw it on YouTube.
you don't have to have that. It's nice that he did it.
Mhm.
You created a custom pattern or
Actually,
material.
I drew the lines
Oh.
besides the land. So there is an option on SketchUp calls what is it? Is a sandbox.
Mm-hmm.
Sandbox.
Oh, you actually went into Sandbox and made that texture?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, folks, you don't have to go that far.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'm glad you did it, but that's above and beyond. We can just keep it black. It's actually, this guy is pretty much covered by vegetation, but that's one of the things I wanted, if we have time, show you with this project, how you can put in a lot of vegetation for your, in this, sorry,
yeah,
using Lumion.
yeah. It's too hard, so that's why I made it very simple.
Michael, can I
Yeah.
bother you to ask me to, or send me send me a view or two maybe of this or this one. Maybe I'll try something too in Photoshop just to compare for.
Of this one that's up on the screen right now.
Yeah, yeah, or whichever. Yeah, yeah, this one because it has foliage. Yeah, so the other ones are easy.
Yeah, the other ones are you know, sitting pretty much with no vegetation whatsoever.
Yeah,
And it'll be interesting to see, you know, Photoshop can do a really great job with vegetation because this is on a very luxuriant hillside with
yeah.
a lot of vegetation.
So if we don't go into Lumion, we'll just turn everything off and just have that house sitting there in the air, and then we have to build around it. That sounds tricky.
Mm. Well, maybe, yeah.
That could be tricky. That's why I was wondering, like, would you maybe leave the hillside there, like, and build on top of it, put vegetation on top of it, and then you kind of got the form and the shadows. Does it put
Right.
shadows like that actually? It does.
Yeah.
It's cantilevered over a little bit.
Yeah, it does. The front of this cantilever is a little bit, so there is a shadow.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a question about the shadow. I think there is a problem in the back of the house.
In the back.
Yeah. Yeah, you see it?
Yeah, well, the door and the window wouldn't be floor to ceiling like that.
No, not that one. And the and the floor.
The ground.
Yeah, the ground. Yeah, you see, is like gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But when you turn
casting
off the shadow, it disappear.
what's
So,
happening is it's casting the shadow on the ground. And what you can do is under shadows, you turn that off.
Yeah, thank you.
So that if you can see it down here in my lower left corner shadows, because it looks like your topography goes down into the ground.
Okay, thank you.
Which one did you click there, Michael? On ground?
Yeah, display on faces, keep that on, but not on ground.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like keeping it on ground is convenient, like if you're just building a structure in the middle of nowhere and you don't, you know, it's all sitting on the ground and you don't have to worry about it casting shadows. It'll automatically do it on the ground level. Well, that was a good question. Other question. Speak
Everybody.
now or forever hold your peace.
Just to confirm, for this Thursday, we just have to upload a new, like the same, but fix it
Right.
in
Fix your
the
scenes and-
same box.
No, don't do that sandbox tool. You don't need
No, no, no. I mean, like in the same Dropbox
Dropbox.
from
the same
today.
Dropbox. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And I mean, I feel like we could almost require it almost rather than the models. If you were happy with the models, we could just say views and we could just look at views.
I'd
Or
like
they should,
I would like to have the whole SketchUp model. I want to
Okay.
see the craft of the model. It's like, and then, but that you have your views set up within the model.
yeah, they should definitely be set up because Tuesday is the renderings in Photoshop. So you have to have the views set up by this point. Absolutely.
Exactly.
So today I actually submitted PNGs of scenes. Should I go ahead and just submit the resubmit with the SketchUp?
SketchUp model. Yeah.
Thanks.
Or
Yes.
we could look at them now if you want.
Whichever.
We could take a quick look if we got time.
Let's see. I have to download those. So let's.
I could grab them too.
Okay.
Where are they, Tatiana?
They're in today's Dropbox.
What is today's? Can you tell me which module that's in?
I can get those.
Sorry, I have to look it up.
That's right. Yeah. I don't remember, like, we don't have today's Dropbox, kind of like Studio, not in this one, in this class.
Okay.
It's just, I've been thinking I need to work on my file naming conventions. I've got like 3 different conventions at the same time.
I appreciate that. Yeah, speed grader. And let's see, Tatiana.
Final SketchUp model.
Okay. So no perspective. The model looks good though. Yeah, so you want to turn perspective on under view, perspective.
Okay.
Yeah. And try to get an inside view.
Got it.
Otherwise, it looks pretty good. I mean, just looking at the images.
This last one looks a little above the 6 foot range eye level.
Oh yeah, yeah. These are awkward because they're all orthographic views.
Yeah, this one too.
Perspective
Yeah.
is not on, so.
Oh, so you can't even get, I mean, that one's kind of like you're walking on the approach, but
Yeah, but it's not, perspective is turned off in these views.
okay.
But the model looks good, although you do have, again, remember everyone, these connections to the ground, so that these big A-frames, they rest on metal clips that anchor them into the ground. Oh, you have it on one side, but it looks like they're not on the other. Well, that'll be fast if they're components. But yeah, I would like for Thursday, I would like your SketchUp model. I'd like to look at that. It's as close as I can do to, really look at the craft of what you've made. And then I can also do something, I can send it back to you. Like if you're still having problems setting up scenes, I can do it for you. Even though I'd like you to be able to do it, I can do that and then send and then attach the revised file back. And then a small tip would be appreciated.
I was going to say, make a very big effort before Michael ends up correcting your scenes.
Got it. Thanks.
Yeah, well, that's for everybody. That's for everybody. I mean, he can get help with minor tweaks, but he should not be, so yeah, everybody needs an interior and then 2 exteriors. It could be that, or it depends on the building. Like this one would be 1 interior. But
1
then you
interior,
have
2 exteriors.
Yeah. I was just thinking like the house though, you could do 2 interiors possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly for that one, but this one and the lounge, not really, less so.
The lounge is kind of a one-trick pony. It's like, it's got that sort of jagged glass facade. It would be interesting being inside looking out, but it's those are some of the challenges with it. It's like and then there's the view looking at it against the landscape.
Any other questions? Otherwise, we could maybe wind down a little early.
Okay, I'd be glad to show folks Lumion in vegetation. That would apply to the Mexico project.
That'll be good.
Okay.
These Lumion renderings look fantastic in portfolios, so you should push yourself.
Okay, well, let me do that then. All right, I'm gonna, yeah. How-
Does the Lumion renderings are supposed to like us to practice only, or do we have to submit something with
They're
Lumion?
optional.
Okay.
I'd like you to try to do them, but you know, you may have some technical glitches potentially connecting. Okay. Let's take this and I'm going to quit Lumion. Save this. Okay, and I am going to exit. Okay. So let's see if this will work. Start. Okay. Oh, it's put in a ground, so we're gonna have to lift everything up. So I do that over here. Okay. So you see it's even turned it into running water. Not that we really want that, but let's see. Okay, let me get this camera right. Um, okay. Again, it's a little sluggish today. I don't know what that's about, but. So, landscape. Come on, landscape, why aren't you kicking in here? All right, so let's just see. What I'm going to do is put in some material, nature, grass, 3D grass. Okay. There, wild grass. All right, now let's get to some plants. And for that, I go into finish applying the material, go to place, and trees and plants, nature. Come on, nature. Tell it to place. So we get all these different trees, lots of trees. Let's see what else there is. So you can begin to see how I can populate this with vegetation.
That's not mine. Looks different, yeah.
Yeah, I've turned off the furniture, but it is yours.
Looks very nice like that.
It's all about the furniture, really.
Yeah.
But I'm glad
So
guys-
you don't want us to have furniture in it, or
I would go a little low key with the furniture, enough to give scale and a sense, of feeling. But unless you're really an enthusiastic interior designer, I would kind of take it out. And Abdullah, to his credit, set up this model really well, that he put everything together as a component. All the furniture, or just about all the furniture, was linked together as components. So it was real easy to select it and isolate it. Let's see, I don't know about bringing it back once we.
Actually, what I didn't understand is that what's the difference between the component and the layer about the furniture? The furniture.
The difference between a component and a.
And the layer.
Oh, components can be placed on layers. So you can have objects on lots of different layers. I find that just easier to switch it on or off when it's on a layer. Let's see. Anyway, so. And let me go in and save this view. Whoops, keep having this problem with the float. Come on. Okay, and so I'm not quite sure about this river up here. We should probably change the material on that. But let's just render this and see what we get. And you could put a lot more plantings in. And let's do this. Settings. Time of day. Okay, let's try it. Let's see what a rendering looks like. Okay, render. So this is now in Photoshop. This is the rendering that was just done. And I didn't get a chance to really put in much of the way of plantings, but you can see I changed the grass, so it was wild grass. I put in some palms and palmettos and some other trees. We kind of have to eliminate the water over here. I think that's, but you can see like fairly quickly how you can get a really effective rendering. Let me just crop this. So that was not a bad result for a few moments of work.
So would the ideal sequence be going into Lumion and then taking it into Photoshop? Or would you
Yeah.
actually go back and forth, let's say grab people, go into Lumion, and then go back into Photoshop?
Well, there are Lumion people. They're not very good. I mean, they're sort of okay.
Right.
I'll bring one in just for the heck of it. Let me go back to Lumion.
So the sequence, Tatiana, would be that
Mhm.
Photoshop would follow Lumion.
Right.
People would go in there. This is what Lumion does beautifully: is the light, the vegetation, the shadows. So people, an additional entourage like that, would come
That's
from Photoshop.
Photoshop. But you could do it in here. I mean, I can show you, but it's not nearly, I mean, unless it's a very tricky lighting situation, it's better to do it in Photoshop, but I can show you what it looks like. So I'm done with the rendering. I want to bring in a few people.
Or perhaps if they're at a distance, maybe you could kind of
Yeah.
get away with that little.
That too close, it won't work. But yeah, I would like somebody on these stairs. So let's place. So place objects and people. And 2-day people. Oops. Oops, I put in too many. Yeah, I'm having real trouble today. There's a really fairly intense lag here. It's slowing this down considerably. Oh well. All right. Let me just do something about this river back here. Sparkling water. No, I don't want that. I want. So let's just. There. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay. And I'm going to do this. And light, go back. Okay, and finally, I'm ready now to render this. Render. Anyway, I'm having a little lag with the connecting to the computers, but this is what I was able to do. These are the two-dimensional people that I brought into Lumion. And they're not as good as if you did them in Photoshop, but there's something.
Looks good.
Yeah, it definitely feels tropical.
Yeah.
It looks very nice. I have a question, please.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the video, they call it, I think, animation, right?
They call it what?
The video, the animation or,
Yeah, but we don't want to get into animation. It does
Yeah.
have an animation component, but we just want stills.
okay.
The animation component is very time consuming.
Okay.
So you're welcome to try it out on your own, but not for our project. It'll just really tie up your computer for quite a long time. Yeah, but you can do animation.
Lumion, so.
Yeah, it can do it. That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, not bad. And it's a very nicely done model, Adela. It's got a lot of the details that were actually omitted from the plans. So, you know, it's
Yeah,
quite nice.
thank you.
All right. Are there any other questions out there? I like questions. I don't always have answers, but I like questions. Okay, so finish your SketchUp models for Thursday. At least 3 views, scenes. Okay. And submit them as SketchUp models. Sound good?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm.
So we're on for Thursday, 2:00.
Yes.
SketchUp models, and that was it. Yeah, everything else was Adobe was waiting until next week. So scenes have to be ready, and then questions about which route things are going. Are they going through Lumion and Photoshop? What's your plan for getting into the final board? By Thursday, you should have a clear picture of where things are going. That's nice how you framed it on the left with the tree.
I'm very jealous of this background.
Yeah.
Mine is so plain.
It's a chilly, gray Philadelphia evening.
We have a nice tropical getaway here.
Yeah. All right, then take care. We'll see you on Thursday.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you. See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.